5 years ago and stopped doing it. The last time I did it was like, I think last year when my mom died. And then I found out it's such a great thing to right, usually I write and then Xerox on paper and give to my friends. So thank you for letting me doing this song. So I don't have to Xerox it. Oh, may I take this opportunity to promote a party as well? It's on next week on Saturday. It's going to be a Dudesweet 9th anniversary party. Anyway, this story, I don't know, it's going to be divided into parts because I can't finish it in time. And after this, I don't know when I'm going to write it. I only draw comics when something happened this day. Before that, I used to draw it a lot, like whatever. Okay, let me start, sorry. Oh, have to read this. The story is, ever since I was born, I never knew what my father looked like. But last month, I saw him for the first time in my life on Facebook. All I had was my mother. I was never interested to finding out who my father was. I never felt bad about not having one. Maybe I just got used to the fact of not having father from the day I was born. You might want to know I'm sad. I can frankly tell you, no. I never been sad about this, not even a day in my life. But still, I understand those who once had dad and lost them under whatever circumstances. I know how much it would hurt because you build memories together. Anyway, my story is predictable and classic. I can sum up for you easily. My father and my mother were teenagers in the 70s. They played the same band. My mom sang and he played guitar. The band covered stuff like the Carpenters and other hits from the era. They played in cocktail lounges around town. One thing you have to understand is that 30 years ago, Thai society was much more discriminating against women. For women to leave the house after 9 p.m. was already bad enough. And my mom was a nightclub singer. The society didn't see any good in that. For all I knew, my father's family hated her and saw her as a bad showbiz woman. Still, two teenagers fell in love, she got pregnant, and my father didn't know what to do, got freaked out kind of way. He didn't know what to do because his family didn't approve of my mother. There must have been a lot of high drama between the two families during the pregnancy, but I never asked for detail. Let's just say that my mother decided to keep me and my father decided to run away. He disappeared and left her carrying, delivering and raising me all by herself. Being a single mom might be very common nowadays, but it wasn't a hip thing to do back then. People talked and criticized. I'm sure my mother must have been bitter, but she was strong enough not to beg and pester that irresponsible man. She just kept on raising me. And days went by. My mom forgot the pains and grew up without thinking about it at all. When people asked me about my father, I told them he was dead. Even as a kid, I knew that if I said I didn't know where he was, another question would be followed. People always want to know. Sometimes I feel that they want to know my story much more than I do. So, I would tell them that my dad was dead because the conversation would sometimes end quickly and followed by, oh, I'm sorry to hear that, or, oh, how did he die? How did he die? How did he die is my favorite question. When I was a kid, I cooked up many versions of his death, starting from basic like car accident or cancer to something like battlefield death because my father was a soldier. But sometimes I said he was a policeman and got shot by the bad guys. But my favorite version was the one that my dad worked in a park. The one that my dad worked as a park ranger in the north. I told people that he only came home a few days a month, and in a cold winter day, he went to look for 3 lost Boy Scouts. And he found them standing frozen with fear because a hungry bear was approaching them. So, to protect the Boy Scout, he tackled the bear to give a chance for the 3 boys to run away. But he couldn't manhandle the strong bear, so he was eaten alive. And once I finish my story, people would go, oh, or they would be in tears, no more questions. And as I grew up, lying wasn't much fun anymore, so I went back to the basics. When asked, I would tell people that he died in a car accident because people die from car accident every day. Once I got into the university, question about my family background kind of faded. Nobody cares. Good. Anyway, still, there were mornings when I look at myself into the mirror while brushing my teeth. I sometimes wonder what parts of my face I got from my father. I knew I got my mother's eye and nose. I've been told that I look so much like my mom when I smile. I got my granddad's forehead and my lips are similar to my grandmother's. Those wonders were fleeting. They didn't happen a lot though, and never lasted for a long time. My brain kind of switched to other things when I finished brushing my teeth. Anyway, back to how I found my father on Facebook. Sorry, I need a ear. Back to how I found my father. Oh, actually, this has happened last month. Thank you, Facebook. Back to how I found my father on Facebook. Before I used to Google his name in Thai and last name, but I never found anything, and I thought he might have changed his mind. He might have changed his name, which was highly possible since Thai people change names all the time. They change names accordingly to the superstition. Or he was a forgotten person without any prison on the internet. Or maybe he was really eaten by that bear. The last month, while I was waiting for the burnt CD in the middle of the night, I tried searching his name on Facebook. What happened was, my hair on my neck stood and I felt like falling down from the tall building when I searched the result. Present a thumbnail picture of a man in a wide-brimmed hat. It really does exist. My fingers were on the mouse. If I were to click, I find out all the answer to my question that I had when I look into myself while I'm brushing my teeth. The truth just not out there, it's just lying on my index finger. 2 sides of me thought. One screamed, take a look. And one on the phone said, oh, don't do it because you'll be stuck with this forever. But one of the reasons I didn't want to click on that thumbnail because I'm a graphic designer, right? And even a small size, it was obvious that the photos were badly photoshopped. And you know that kind of portrait with ugly fillers and exaggerated color adjustment, and let alone his clothes. There are still people who use photos of themselves wearing wide brim hats for the profile picture on Facebook. And I think it's as lame as people start losing when they're posting for pictures. And I want to find out what my dad was I didn't want to find out that my dad was only an old man who spent his time photoshopping his pictures. My imaginary dad was much cooler. My father's profile picture should be that of a man in a tailored shirt, smiling easily, looking relaxed in a bright meeting room like those businessmen in Getty Image. So, then I click. So, I'll finish next time.
That's great. That was great. To be continued. We have two to be continued.